I want to welcome everyone to the 7th meeting of the House Standing Committee on Economic Development and Workforce Investment. We do have a few housekeeping issues to take care of, matters. I want to remind those that are here, members and those in the audience, to please silence your cell phones at this time. If anyone is interested in testifying, I want to ask them to use the sign-in sheet in the back by the podium. Testimony is within the chair's discretion based on time restraints and information already presented. Members attending remotely, please indicate your location when the secretary calls the roll. Only members in their annex office or in the Capitol campus will be counted as present and allowed to vote on bills. If any member has a question or comment, please signal to Janine or Sasha. Members attending remotely that have a question or comment, please send a message in Zoom using the chat function. At this time, it appears we've got a quorum here. So, Sasha, please call the roll.
Representative Baker.
Present.
Representative Branscombe.
Present.
Sorry.
She said present
for the wrong person.
She was ready.
We need a brief timeout.
Uh-oh.
Timeout, Coach.
Oh, dear.
It's a 30-second or a full?
Full timeout.
Full timeout.
Full timeout.
Yes. I talked to Joni. She told me in her office last night.
We have two committees that are going to be using this room this morning, and we have some overlap on members, so it's all good. Sasha, you can go ahead.
They will be
Representative Banta.
Here.
Representative Beckler. Representative Bojanowski.
I'm here.
Representative Bray. Representative Brown.
Here.
Representative Callaway.
Present in the room.
Representative Cantrell. Representative Freeland.
Here in the room.
Representative Gentry.
Here in my annex office.
Thank you. Representative Hart.
Here in the room.
Representative Huff.
Present in the room.
Representative Johnson.
Present in the room.
Representative King.
present in the room.
Representative Kulkarni.
Present in the room.
Representative Lawrence.
Present in the room.
Representative Lockett.
Present in the room.
Representative Rowland. Representative Sharp.
Present.
Representative Sheldon. Representative Tackett Lafferty.
That's right.
Present from my annex office.
Thank you. Representative Truitt.
Present in the room.
Representative Elliott. Chairman Weber.
Here. All right, we do have a quorum and are duly constituted to conduct business today. The first bill on our agenda is Senate Bill 180. I'm going to ask Senator Nemes to come forward, and if you've got any folks that are going to be testifying with you, come forward. Senator, I'm going to ask you for everyone to introduce themselves, and before you begin your presentation, we do have some business to conduct in terms of committee amendments. We want to go ahead and get those dealt with so that when you're explaining, we're explaining based upon the committee amendment. So go ahead and introduce yourself at this time.
I'm Senator Nemes from Bullock County, and I have with me.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I'm Jamie Link, Secretary of the Labor Cabinet.
Yes.
And I'm Morgan Eves. I'm the Legislative Director for the Kentucky Labor Cabinet and the Education and Workforce Development Cabinet.
Very good. Glad to have you here today. Our first item of business related to Senate Bill 180 is that we have a committee amendment. I think Representative Bojanowski has that amendment. Can we get a motion on the amendment?
Motion.
Motion by Representative Lawrence. Second by Representative Callaway. Representative Bojanowski, you want to explain the amendment?
Yes. It was brought to my attention that it would be best to have the effective date be July 1st, as that's the beginning of the fiscal year. And so this amendment simply says that the act will take effect July 1st, 2022, and that an emergency is declared to exist because that has to happen in order to change the effective date.
Very good. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of adopting the amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. The committee amendment 1 is adopted. I now need do we have any discussion on the bill? I do need to now get a motion on Senate Bill 180 as amended by the committee substitute. Well, I think I'm getting ahead of myself. All right. This one's a little complicated today, so I want to make sure we've got everything. Senator Nemes, at this time, you can explain the bill and any changes that have been made.
Well, you just went over the change that we are in favor of, and it's in there whether we were in favor or not. So, thanks, Representative Wojciechowski. Some of the members said they didn't have time to read it, and they asked me to read it word for word. I would like to pass that if you don't mind, Chairman.
You are excused from that time.
So, real simple. This bill combines the Education and Workforce Cabinet with the Labor Cabinet. It's already been done with an executive order, and the only complaint I had was from some Republicans that said we don't want to do this because the Governor Beshear's administration wants to do it. And I said I was in the Bevin administration and we wanted to do it for a red tape reduction. They said, well, we didn't like him either. So I come forth with something that is really good. It's going to combine services, and some people were worried about the education being with workforce. The education part of the cabinet is all attachments to the cabinet. They're not really under the control of this secretary. That it's for administrative purposes only. So it only makes sense that the labor cabinet and workforce are together.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any questions related to the bill? Seeing none, can I get a motion on Senate Bill 180 as amended by Committee Amendment 1? Okay. All right. Very good. No questions. Sasha, please call the roll.
Representative Baker?
Yes.
Representative Banta?
Yes.
Representative Beckler?
No.
Representative Wojciechowski?
Yes.
Representative Bray? Representative Brown?
Yes.
Representative Callaway?
Yes.
Representative Cantrell? Representative Elliott? Representative Freeland?
Yes.
Representative Gentry?
Pass.
Thank you. Representative Hart?
Yes.
Representative Huff?
Yes.
Representative Johnson? Representative King?
Yes, ma'am.
Representative Kulkarni?
Yes.
Representative Lawrence?
Yes.
Representative Lockett?
Aye.
Representative Rowland? Representative Sharp?
Aye.
Representative Sheldon? Representative Tackett Lafferty? Representative Truitt?
Yes.
Chairman Weber?
Yes. Senate Bill 180 as amended by Committee Amendment 1 passes with a favorable expression. At this time, I need a motion to roll a committee amendment into a committee substitute. Representative Rowland, Representative Lockett. And I need to start over again today. All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. That motion is adopted. I need a motion on the title amendment to Senate Bill 180. Motion. Representative Lockett made a motion, second from Representative Callaway. All those in favor of adopting the title amendment say aye. Aye. Any opposed, no. The title amendment is adopted. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Chair.
Mr. Chairman.
Chairman.
Members of the committee.
Next up on our agenda is House Bill 83. At this time, I want to ask Representative Kulkarni, and I think Representative Hivren is going to be joining her. Ask them to come forward. Please introduce yourselves for the record, and after you've done so, you can begin your presentation.
Good morning. I'm State Representative Nima Kulkarni, representing the 40th Legislative District.
Good morning. I'm Representative Samira Heffron, representing the 18th District.
You may begin with your presentation.
Thank you, Chairman, for allowing the time to hear House Bill 83 today and to members for your consideration. House Bill 83 is the latest version of legislation that Representative Heverin and I have worked on for the past couple of sessions with a lot of stakeholder input and feedback. Rep. Heverin has been a primary co-sponsor for each time that this bill has been introduced, and I'm very grateful to her for her help and her support of this important issue. What this bill does is allow victims of domestic, dating, sexual, and stalking violence who leave work, are unable to work, or are separated from employment due to circumstances directly relating to that violence to be eligible for unemployment benefits in cases where the victim fears such violence at or en route to the workplace, wishes to relocate to another area to avoid future violence to themselves, their family, or to coworkers, and or finds it necessary for the future safety and health of themselves, their family, or their coworkers. Claimants under this bill must provide documentation to prove their eligibility, including police records, court records, sworn statements, or other documentation of the violence provided by the victim, shelter workers, members of the clergy, medical professionals, or other professionals from whom the victim has sought assistance. And this evidence would be kept confidential under this legislation. Benefits under this bill are paid from a pooled account pursuant to KRS 341.550 and not from the employer's reserve account. In addition, nothing in this bill will impact an employer's experience rating for purposes of calculating the employer's unemployment insurance tax rate. The House Bill 83 directs the Secretary of the Education and Workforce Development Cabinet to train employees in the processing of these claims and provide a report by September 30th of each year to the LRC detailing the number of claims filed under this statute. Finally, it directs the Secretary to promulgate regulations for processing these claims, creating a confidential verification process that is designed to detect fraudulent claims, and providing educational materials for employers and employees explaining the process. So why is this bill necessary? Intimate partner violence impacts 1 in 4 women and 1 in 9 men in their lifetime. In Kentucky, that number is higher. 1 in 3 women and 1 in 8 men experience partner abuse. Nearly 1 in 2 women in Kentucky and 1 in 5 men have reported sexual violence at some point in their lives, and it's clear that this issue impacts millions of Americans every single day. Nationwide, over 20% of full-time employed adults have reported being victims of domestic violence, and research in multiple studies ranging from the Centers for Disease Control, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the Department of Justice, as well as our own University of Kentucky, has shown that unemployment is often related to domestic violence in a relationship. A full 83% of domestic violence survivors report that their ability to work was negatively impacted by an abusive partner, including missing days of work or losing a job. Of the women or young girls who reported domestic, sexual, or stalking violence by an intimate partner in a recent CDC study. Oh, I didn't hear the motion. I apologize. Yes, I am, Chair.
I like this. I think it's a great idea. I'm just curious what happens. It takes an average of 7 times for someone to leave an abusive spouse love relationship. What happens if they keep going back?
So at any time where a claimant is asking to be eligible for unemployment benefits, they have to prove their eligibility initially and on an ongoing basis for as long as as the unemployment benefits are allowed under law. So it's not going to increase the amount of benefits, it's not going to extend the time for benefits, but anytime they ask for benefits, they have to prove their eligibility under this statute. So it's not like it would just be assumed or grandfathered in, if that happens.
I'm sorry. No, I'm good. I'm smiling.
Sorry. Representative Lockett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think this is a great bill, and I just have a more or less kind of a clarification question. You talked about the pooled account that the money goes into. Can you just go into a little bit more detail about that, where the money's coming from, how it's separated out from normal monies? Can you just kind of detail that a little bit more?
Sure. So the pooled account is something that employers contribute to, and it reduces essentially the burden for each individual employer from paying out for unemployment benefits. And so this is not going to be charged to an employer's reserve account, which would be individual to an employer. So it would reduce any cost burden, just like we have currently for unemployment benefits.
Representative Beckler.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't see anything in the bill that talks about a requirement that if, somebody leaves and subsequently there's not an issue, does the employer have to hire that individual back?
No, sir. The employer is under no obligation to hire anyone back. This only pertains to their eligibility for unemployment benefits.
Okay, thank you.
Does that clarify?
Kind of.
They're not. The employer is not obligated to do anything under this bill.
Yeah, conceptually, I like the idea. I'm a little concerned about. I know you talk about having to offer proof or evidence, but yeah, just fear. I don't know. It seems to me that we may be going a bit too far, but. I'll probably vote yes here, but I reserve judgment in the full House.
Thank you. And just a brief clarification. So there is language in the bill that refers to fear of violence, but it's within the greater context of being eligible under this statute where you do have to prove that the situation is happening to you right now. So it's not fear of future violence or abuse. It's something that you have to document at this time, and you're saying that you have to leave the workplace because you know it'll happen again, in essence.
All right. Thank you.
Any other questions from committee members? If not, we do have a motion and a second on the bill. At this time, Sasha, please call the roll.
Representative Baker.
May I explain my vote, please?
You may.
I'll vote yes in committee. I still have some concerns about this and the effect it'll have. I appreciate the effort on it. I think it's much needed, but trying to get there, I'm not quite sure, but I'll vote yes today.
Representative Banta.
Yes.
Representative Beckler.
Yes, and while I'm here with the microphone on, could I record my attendance, please?
Duly noted.
Representative Bojanowski.
Yes.
Representative Bray. Representative Brown.
Yes.
Representative Callaway.
Can I explain my vote, please?
You may.
I apologize, Mayor. I tried to catch you this morning, and I spoke with Nima just a little bit this morning. I, too, have some concerns that I would definitely like to talk about just from a tightening up standpoint and the potential for fraud and how that we can make sure that that is not the case. I'm a no right now, but I definitely am open to talk about it and get with you on it, so thank you.
Representative Cantrell. Representative Elliott. Representative Freeland. Yes. Representative Gentry.
Yes.
Thank you. Representative Hart.
Yes.
Representative Huff.
Yes.
Representative Johnson. Representative King.
Yes, ma'am.
Representative Kulkarni.
Yes.
Representative Lawrence.
As a co-sponsor, yes.
Representative Lockett.
Yes.
Representative Rowland. Representative Sharp.
Yes, but I also have concerns with, same as Representative Callaway, about controls to prevent fraud.
Representative Sheldon. Representative Tackett Lafferty. Representative Truitt.
Yes.
Chairman Weber.
Yes. House Bill 83 does pass with favorable expression. Congratulations.
Thank you, members. Thank you, Chairman.
Our next bill up on the agenda today is Senate Bill 207. We have Senator Higdon here. Senator, if you'll come forward and introduce yourself and your guest can introduce herself for the record, and after you've done so, you can begin your presentation. We do have a committee substitute that we will need to adopt, and maybe we can adopt that, and then you can move in to.
Thank you.
Well, we have a motion on the sub and a second. Representative Elliott and Representative Lockett was the second. So let's go ahead and adopt the sub. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, no. Committee sub is adopted. Senator Higdon, you can now introduce yourself.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. I have a special guest with me today, Maddie Snellen. She's from Nelson County, attends St. Joe Elementary School, and she's in the 3rd grade. She's with her dad, Jason, in the back. And I don't know if she's paging or job shadowing, but whatever we call it today, I'll let her, for the record, introduce herself. And
Maddie Snellen.
Thank you, Maddie.
Welcome, Maddie.
Thank you all for allowing her to be with me today. This Senate Bill 207, I serve on the K-Web board. It's an appointment by the governor. I've served on there under 3 governors have appointed me to that board. It's the Kentucky Workforce Investment Board, and its primary function is to be the face of the federal dollars and our workforce development in the state of Kentucky. Behind the K-Web, which is the main committee that does policy, and is the collaborative. And the collaborative is basically the majority of the collaborative is the governor's cabinet. And the collaborative, I guess, it distributes funds. There's a lot of federal money involved in this, but the collaborative and the K-Web is primarily set up as a directive from the federal government to distribute federal money and to work with workforce investment and to a lot of different things, but mainly to develop our workforce in Kentucky. This redoes this bill primarily restructures the board to some degree. Like I said, primarily the board now consists of the governor's cabinet, a few outside folks. One of the pieces to the puzzle that's missing is if you go home today or if you call your economic development director or some local industries and ask them about K-Web, most of them would look at you like you have 3 eyes. They just don't know about it. And so one of the things, we have what we call local K-Webs, and that's a term that's used often, and it's really nothing local about them. They're regional K-Webs. Each area development district has a K-Web, Workforce Investment Board, and but they're only represented by one person on this board. So basically what my bill does is that it puts all 10 of those on this board. And I'd be glad
Motion on the bill.
We have a motion by Representative Elliott, a second by Representative Huff. Any discussion on the bill? Senator, you did a good job. And
thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Headed the questions off. So at this time, Sasha, please call the roll.
Representative Baker.
Yes.
Representative Banta.
Yes.
Representative Beckler.
Permission to explain my vote?
You may.
This seems to me to just be more bureaucracy, and I think we have plenty already, so I vote no.
Representative Bojanowski.
I'm going to pass at this time just to have a chance to dig into it a little more deeply. Thank you.
Representative Bray. Representative Brown.
Yes.
Representative Callaway.
Can I explain my vote?
You may.
I am a yes on this, primarily just because you had some really good help presenting this morning. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Representative Cantrell. Representative Elliott. Representative Freeland.
Yes.
Representative Gentry.
Yes.
Thank you. Representative Hart. Representative Huff.
Yes.
Representative Johnson. Representative King.
Yes, ma'am.
Representative Kulkarni.
Yes.
Representative Lawrence,
I was on the fence until she walked in. I'm a yes.
Thank you.
Representative Lockett,
Aye.
Representative Rowland, Representative Sharp,
Aye.
Representative Sheldon, Representative Tackett Lafferty, Representative Truitt,
Yes.
Chairman Weber.
Yes. Senator, bill passes with favorable expression and moves to the House floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. Y'all have a blessed day.
Thank you. I know Representative Cantrell came in and missed a couple of votes, so if she would like to record attendance and votes on Senate Bill 180 and House Bill 83, do so at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I do apologize for missing the other two votes. I stopped by Natural Resources before I came here, which is going on at the same time, and I would like to record yeses on the two other bills.
Do we have anybody else that missed any votes on the bill? All right, at this time, I want to, it's possible that we could have another meeting, but I feel like this will probably be our last meeting of this 2022 session. And at this time, I would like to take the opportunity to thank both the nonpartisan LRC staff and the partisan staff that we had that really helped me to do the job here. And as we saw today, you know, wading through passing these bills with various committee amendments and such can sometimes get a little complicated and confusing. But I appreciate the great assistance that I'm provided as chairman of this committee, and I think it allows me to be a better member. It helps the members of this committee as well, so that we're doing our job effectively in terms of what we pass out of this committee, and it goes to the full floor. And sometimes the folks that I'll mention in a minute are key to behind the scenes, but very often go unnoticed. And I, as chair, would like to take this opportunity to notice and recognize those folks. So I would like to thank Janine Coy, committee staff administrator, for her great assistance. Sasha, the committee administrator, who helps keep everything in line, and multiple committees. I would also point out these folks have multiple obligations that they follow. Audrey Ernstberger, I know works hard. Last night I was getting a committee sub that, you know, sometimes we think those things just happen. They don't. It takes a lot of work and involvement. Kirk Smith, I'm sure he has some gray hairs after working on one of my bills and drafting it, so appreciate that. Crystal Thompson, an analyst, Helen MacArthur, a grad fellow, and Caleb Westfall, an intern. We thank you for your work for this committee. Those are the folks who are the nonpartisan LRC staff, and I want to thank Rachel Volk, who is the policy analyst for the Economic Development Committee. She does a lot of behind-the-scenes work and helps bring me up to where I need to be on understanding a whole myriad of issues that we deal with in this committee. So I want to thank each of those individuals. They're valuable and important. They're important to me, and I hope they're important to each member of this committee. So I say a hearty thank you for your great work. We have no other business to come before this committee today, and at this time I would like to accept a motion to adjourn.